What's up guys, Fast Eddie here, and today we're going to analyze the interrogation of Kenneth Brinkman. So Kenneth's an interesting guy because before he got caught up in the sting, he was a accountant for a large major oil company. So presumably he's a man of reasonable intelligence, although I'm not fucking sure how intelligent he is, seeing as he ended up getting caught on this shit. So let's watch this guy's life unravel and see if we can figure out some of the motivations that he has for why he says and does what he does.
Come on in, man. I just whacked my toe on the banister.
That's the best line.
Oh my gosh, I just whacked the crap out of myself.
You what?
He's like, you what? Yeah, there's no toes getting whacked. There's only this guy getting whacked. And no one's getting whacked off. His life is getting destroyed. That's the only thing going down.
Listen up. You have the right to remain silent. You understand that? Anything you say can't be used against you in the court of law. Do you understand that?
Yes or no? Yes.
You have the right to talk to the lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. Do you understand that?
Damn, that's good. They're just direct. They're like yes or no, just get to the point. And there's a similar situation with Jeff Stacy when he is first apprehended. They ask him how old he is, and he says, I think like 26 or some shit, and they're like, you think? Like, how old are you? And they're all, are you on drugs? It's funny. And then they're all, do you have a medical condition? And he's like, I have epilepsy. He's all, do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So I mean, these cops but they need to be direct and blunt just to get these fuckers out. They need to clear the space so the next guy can come in.
Yes.
If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And at that point, Kenneth should have realized that all of the wealth. So he was an accountant for a major oil company. My friend, I have a friend who's an accountant. So I mean, I've talked to him about what it's like to look for a job and whatnot, and what the starting salaries usually are. Kenneth probably makes over 100 grand. Kenneth is probably making maybe 110. Wait, but I checked the chat log before this, so he had been at the major oil company for 25 years. So who fucking knows? Depending on the oil company, I mean that's a rough estimate. He made at least 100,000. That's what I'm saying. Who fucking knows how much he made? Maybe 150, depending on his position at the company and what company it was. If it's like a Chevron or an Exxon, if it was a really major oil company, then this guy would have been taken care of. But at this point, he should have realized that the money that he has as a product of his job could have been a shield. He could have immediately lawyered up. At this point, he should have lawyered up and hired the best attorney that money could buy. And he might have been able to pull a fucking OJ out of it. But no, he didn't. He thought he could talk his way out of it like a fucking retard.
You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You don't want to do that, Kenneth. Come on, you don't want to do that. You want to talk. You want to clear the situation up, huh? This is a big misunderstanding. Let's just work out the details. It's got to be the longest fucking walk of this guy's life.
Take a seat. Watch your head getting in.
That'd be funny if they bashed his head.
Slide your foot in. You good?
Some of these guys get so fucked up when they're in police custody. Like I was watching one of the videos that the captain uploaded, Abdallah, whatever his last name is, the never ever guy, and his fucking face is like covered in sand and shit. Like the cops tackled him and he got sand, and they didn't even wipe his face off. Like this guy just had sand and dirt all over his face, like the entirety of the process. So it's funny.
And out there where you're arrested.
These cops were gentle compared to how they could have been in just transporting him to the jail.
On 5K Avenue, I read your constitutional rights, your Miranda rights. Did you understand them at that time?
Yeah.
And look at this guy. He's dressed like a fucking teeny bopper. He's got the puka shell necklace that was kind of That was more of a thing popular in the fucking 2000s, dude. Those were not that popular at this time. But yeah, he's got like a puka shell. He's gay, I think. Yeah, he was gay, and he just looks, he looks like what you'd expect from a guy like this, this age and whatnot. He's trying to dress young, probably to be enticing to younger men. He's trying to dress in a way that is more would be more geared towards, because I think this is almost an immature way to dress. He just looks like he's got a leather jacket, puka shells, like the hair that's kind of spiky. It just looks like something that a younger person would wear. So I think that he's trying to look young, and this mustache doesn't fucking help. But yeah, I think this guy's dressed in a way that is trying to be enticing to who he thought he was gonna fuck.
Okay. And you will
Which is sneaky. I think that that's sneaky.
verify that I did read them to you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see a picture of this girl?
And I like this interrogation room. It's blank. I like that. No distractions, just fucking wood. So there's nothing to look at or anything.
How old do you think she looked by the picture that you saw?
Oh, okay.
That's not good for
There's another interrogation going on. Then you could hear the audio. I think that was fucking Jeff Stacy. I'm gonna rewind it. Hold on.
By the picture that you saw.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
not good for
I think so. I think Jeff Stacy's getting interrogated. That's funny.
I got some questions I want to ask you. Are you willing to talk to me?
Yes.
Okay. I want
And that was the second mistake. I guess the first mistake was chatting. The second mistake was showing up. And the third mistake, and the final three strikes you're out mistake, is fucking talking to the detective who's gonna fuck him in the ass. And maybe that's what he wanted, but I don't think this is the kind of getting fucked that he was talking about.
you to be truthful with me. Okay. About
Can you
everything.
push my glasses up?
Push my glasses up.
Okay.
And then he laughs.
I want you to be truthful with me about everything I ask you about.
I wonder if he got some kind of sexual arousal. Not that being a homosexual, he would be inclined to a greater degree of sexuality, but like if he thought the detective was cute or something, like if my glasses were falling off and there was an attractive woman who pushed him up, I think that immediately, just as a response, I'd be like, oh. Any touch, I think human beings were wired in a way that when someone attractive that we consider attractive touches us, we just become aware of it. That's fucked up though. That would annoy the fuck out of me. That'd be funny if I were the detective. I would get like my pen and like fucking like put it at the bridge of his nose and just like flick it up. Like I wouldn't even touch his fucking skin.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why did you come to the house out
No, I would. I'd want this guy to trust me or whatnot.
there on 5K Avenue today or tonight, this morning?
Good question.
Actually, it's supposed to be like 11:30.
Okay.
And why is he laughing? So I think the laughing immediately is just to relieve tension. So he's starting off. He's in laughing. He's also communicating that he's agreeable. So he's not being hostile or threatening. So he's communicating that he's going with the program, and he's probably going as to why he's talking. He's probably never been in trouble in his life. To be a accountant, you're going to have a criminal background check, so it's a fairly trusted position. You wouldn't be an accountant for a major oil company if you were a scumbag, or if you had anything from your past that could eclipse your education. So yeah, this guy that was absolutely, but it's I think that he trusts authority, because authority, he's probably never had a problem with it. He's just gone with the program and it's always worked in his favor. But not this time.
Um,
Then now is a time to be, if there was a time to be defiant as a suspect, it would be right fucking now to say no, thank you. I plead the Fifth Amendment.
well, I had been chatting with, he said he was Rocky. I think maybe a week or so. And so anyway, we started chatting tonight.
And I skimmed through most of the chat log this time, so I'll be able to fact check the majority of what he says.
Or Friday night, and he told me that his parents had went to Vegas and that he was home alone and bored. And
That's
so
irrelevant.
anyway,
Anyway,
you know, we chatted about all kinds of stuff. I mean,
no, not really.
sex. I mean, he was in a gay chat room.
Interesting that he brings it up, so immediately, you know, he didn't lie about that, so he said he was in a gay chat room. That's the justification, which isn't much of a justification, but that's the
You
one that he
know?
offered.
And so anyway, at one point we decided that we would meet up, and I even mentioned, you know, I said, that's fine, I don't mind meeting up and chatting, but I says, you know, and I asked him on different occasions if he was a cop or anything like that. I mean, I normally do with anybody that I'm chatting with.
And he did do that. He was very paranoid. The PJ Decoy even noted on his page, fucking Jungle Mania. They note that he was exceptionally paranoid. That's probably because he was aware of the likelihood that it was a sting. So I mean, it's strange, you know, because being as educated as he was, he must have been aware that this kind of thing was conducted by law enforcement. This is not something that he'd be oblivious to. So. Yeah, I mean, he was just fuck. I guess he was that horny. This guy was just that fucking horny.
So, because I mean, they can tell you that you're 40 or 50, but you don't know that, you know.
That's his defense. Okay,
Okay, your
he's
street
outlined his
name is
defense.
what?
Jungle say it.
Jungle Mania 2005 0.
How she asked why?
I'm not sure if I know that person.
Who are you coming to see today or visit? What was her
I
name?
wanted some information.
His name was
Or his
Rocky.
name?
Conference.
His name. He said
Rocky?
her. Well, I'm gonna go back.
Some information.
His name.
Who are you coming to see today or visit? What was her name?
What was her name? See, that's just an instinct. This detective's older. So this took place in 2005. He's older. He's in his 40s. This guy's probably in his 50s. So he just imagines, especially in Ohio, he's going to default semantically towards traditional expectations.
Information.
His name was
Or his
Rocky.
name.
His, and it's
Rocky.
I like that that Brinkman immediately clears it up and says, "No, dude, it's a guy. I'm fucking gay."
Rocky?
Rocky.
AOL is America Online.
Not that anyone gives a shit, right? The detective doesn't give a fuck. It's just you're a fucking
What
you're a
was the screen
predator.
name
That's the
he
problem.
used?
What do you say it means again?
It's art of living.
Art of living.
Oh God, I don't remember now.
Just done if I call it.
He's lying. He's got to remember.
You've been talking to him for a week or so and you don't remember?
Well, the reason I don't is because I mean, on AOL, you know,
And he's an accountant, so he certainly is capable of memorizing very critical information.
once you start talking, it just comes up automatically.
What do you think it was?
What do you think it was? He's gonna say it perfectly when he says it.
Talk to so many people.
Bullshit. Just say it. He's gonna say it perfectly.
Can't even tell you my mom's screaming right now. Once I look at it,
I'm being very honest. We can
Say it.
Maybe he knows me.
I thought it was a sheet.
I think it started.
I don't even know.
I wanted to
sir.
say
By
you.
email ID, I cannot. I have quite a few friends in art of living.
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Okay.
Wow, what a prick. And he's licking his lips frequently, so he's pulling a JPW. He's making a lot of ticks, he's laughing, and he's licking his lips. So those are obvious physical indicators that he's uncomfortable.
How'd you first
And he's uncomfortable because he's fucking lying.
meet Rocky?
In the,
And now the detective knows, okay, this guy is gonna fucking jerk me around. You know, it's like the detective's gonna start off with seemingly benign questions just to see how this guy tells the truth, and then to see if he's gonna lie about the little things. And if he lies about the little things, it's fucking very safe to assume that he's gonna lie about the fucking big incriminating things.
Dayton Men for Men.
What's your first name again?
Dating Men for Men?
Yeah, AOL.
What's your last name? Chandra?
And that's a chat room?
Yes.
When was that again?
It may have been last Friday. But
This
I
guy
would
just
say,
has amnesia.
May have been earlier that week.
And I mean, this is
You know how
just,
old
he's
Rocky
lying.
was, or how old Rocky
I
told you he
thought-
was before you come to visit him?
I thought he said that he was 15, but the guy when he was talking to me in the basement said he was 14.
What the hell is he talking about? A guy in the basement? Oh, he must have meant the officer arresting him, maybe? Or Hanson. No, he meant Hanson. He meant Chris. No, he knew.
I mean, it was a concern because I mean he was younger than I am, considerably younger than I am.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got the logs from your chats, okay? And he told you he was 14 years old.
Okay.
And that's
Now, is
true.
he 14 or is he 15?
Well, I have to say 14 if that's what the log says.
Okay.
Good. So at least he's not going to lie against that. So, I mean, if he's going to agree to everything that is explicitly stated in the child log, then he's fucked. Let's see if he'll deny what's in the child. No, it's not me.
What made you think that he was 14 years old?
I'm sorry.
What made you think that he was 14 years old?
Say that you read it.
Told me it was.
There you
Did
go.
you exchange any
Perfect.
pictures or photographs with him?
Oh, well, I know
Yes.
I sent him one.
He did.
Did he send you one?
Yeah, I think so. 'Cause at the time when I sent him mine, I said, which I do, anybody I send my picture to, I ask them to delete it, but I mean, I have a
And he did do that.
professional job, so I just always ask them to delete it. I mean, you never know if they do or not, so.
Which, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna send it to fucking strangers, asking them to delete it is fucking retarded. No one's gonna delete it. No one deletes it. Why would you ever delete them? Who deletes them? No one fucking deletes them. I don't delete them. No one fucking deletes them. Dude, come on, when someone sends you something, you don't fucking delete it.
Did you have any phone conversations with Rocky when you were coming to see him?
Just tonight.
How many?
One right before he called me. I want to say maybe 10:30.
How long of calls were they?
I was just at one, except for when I couldn't find the house.
How long of a call?
Maybe 5 minutes.
Verification.
Maybe.
They said to verify.
What phone did you call from? What was the number that you called from? To
He
talk
called
to him?
me.
What's your cell phone number?
937-287-3846.
Wow, they didn't blur it out.
That was your cell phone, correct?
Correct.
What did you talk about each time?
That was so short.
This guy's a forgetful
He wanted to
fucking
know what I
Frank.
was doing. Wanted to know if I was going to come and see him. And I said yes. And that was really it. It was kind of a vague phone call.
Did you ever have any sexual conversations with him?
Oh yeah.
There you go, perfect. So right to the throat. He's like, and I like that about this detective. I suspect this detective, just from what we can observe already, older guy, white, probably married, probably has a family, probably played football in high school. This is the Midwest. There's a lot we can infer about the detective. Probably a no-nonsense, straight shooting, tell it like it is, police officer. He's not gonna fucking hold your hand. He's not gonna fucking coddle you, and he's not gonna take anyone's bullshit. He's not gonna, especially a fucking predator like this guy. So this detective is a really good one to unpack a guy like Kenneth. A guy who's kind of just like, wanting to go with the program and wanting to please others, because the detective is just gonna see right through his bullshit.
What did they entail?
Well, he told me about an experience he had with a cousin.
Oh, that's gross.
And then he asked me, that was the first conversation, or the first time he ever really talked sexually, I guess. Wanted to know if, and I wasn't even on, I was online, but I wasn't at the computer. And
What does it
he
matter?
wanted to know if that weirded him out.
If you're online but not at the computer, so that has no bearing on the situation.
And by the time I got back to the computer, he was gone. And so tonight, when we started chatting, I told him that, I says, hey, everybody has, it's cool, everybody has their own.
What are you talking? So he's launching into one specific part of the chat, and I didn't read the entirety line by line. This may have been because the bulk of the chat log is just him talking about sex with the decoy. It's not about the decoy relaying personal fucking accounts of the decoy's fictitious past. So this is not the kind of sexually charged questions that the detective was fucking asking. He's talking about ones involving you, bro. You. Not ones about the decoy. Not that.
What did the two of you talk about?
There you go.
What sexually explicit things did you two talk about?
And this detective, I have a lot of respect for this detective already. So he's like, cut the fucking bullshit. I'm asking, you know what I'm asking you? I'm asking you about the decoy.
Yeah, well, he said something about what happened with his cousin would be cool with us.
What did you talk about sexually?
Sexually?
Yes.
Size.
He said cock size.
And,
Interesting. I wonder if the police must have blurred that out. So the police must edit this footage. I doubt the uploader fucking blurred it out. So the fucking police are blurring, or maybe the uploader did. I wonder who edited that. This guy doesn't have much shame.
that was really about it.
He's lying.
Did
Sucking
you
dick.
ask to suck his?
Ooh. Yes, you did.
No, not that I recall.
What did you
Yes,
come
you
up
did.
here for tonight?
Like I said, the end of the conversation was, or even during the conversation, was that his parents had left to go to Las Vegas.
Why did you come up here tonight?
I came up here just to meet and chat with the kid.
To have sex with him?
Nope.
Never discussed having sex with him.
So the battle begins. First blood has been drawn. This is it. This is the spectacle, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope.
Tonight or any other time on
The
these
denials.
chat logs?
No, sir.
I can't say that we definitely talked about having sex. No. I mean, we talked about sex, but to just have sex with each other, no.
He's lying.
Jungle Mania, 5:46 p.m. I love to have a guy come in my mouth.
I wasn't talking about him.
Yes.
I mean,
This kid posed himself to you as being a 14.
So okay, and now Kenneth might be onto something. So Kenneth originally said, "I love to have a guy come in my mouth." So Kenneth could make the argument, yeah, I was just saying I like guys in general to come in my mouth, but the clear implication was that he was down for that. So he's saying that, yeah, I like guys to do that, like wink wink, like we're gonna do that, right? So it's more of an offer than a declaration. I mean, technically, he as I said, he could say that, but no, that was a fucking offer.
18-year-old, and that's the conversation that you're having with him?
Yeah, it's also wildly inappropriate. Like, you don't need to divulge that shit to anyone who's fucking underage.
yeah, but he was having the same type of conversation.
And he posed to you as being 14 years old.
Well, I didn't see any harm in that, because it wasn't something we were talking about with us.
Yes, it was. So he's gonna lie to the guy. The detective ain't gonna take it.
I mean, it's just like the
I mean, he's silent.
the
He's
deal
just
with
thinking.
him talking to me about his cousin. I didn't see
Jungle
this
Mania. What's that? Oh boy, the stuff. Oh boy, the when it goes in your mouth. Junglemania. Oh, now I never waste a load.
Never waste
Laugh
a
out
load.
loud. Okay. Junglemania. Would you like that?
And that's why people call him the frugal predator, because he never wastes a load, waste not, want not. So that's why he's frugal.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah. Because it's right here on the chat log. Now.
Good, right there. Cut him off.
You're not.
Classic read technique. So he immediately, you don't, the more times that a person has the chance to say no, the more likely they are to ask for a lawyer or leave the interrogation. So you, as a interrogator, as a detective, want to decrease the amount of time that they get to object. You want to silence them, cut them off, just to psychologically wear them down. And that's what the detective is doing right here and cutting him off.
Being truthful with me.
Oh, yes, I am.
Totally truthful with me.
I feel that I am
looks away.
because I know. I mean, you're reading parts of that. The whole conversation. I mean, it never really. I never said that that's what I wanted to do with you.
Yes, he did. He did.
You know, it was the conversation.
And now the only thing that sucks is that the detective might not have enough time to flip through the entirety of the chat log in this moment, just because he has to listen to Kenneth, and this is a high pressure situation for both Kenneth and the detective. So the detective has to juggle Kenneth, and you don't want to be too rough with Kenneth because he could ask for a lawyer any moment. So you don't want to say anything that's going to really clam him up, but you also want him to keep talking. So this is a fucking tightrope walk for the detective.
Conversation that we were having.
University of Kentucky Library of Providence.
I mean, there was a point where he was trying to get me to commit to something more than just coming and meeting and chatting with him. And I says, look, I don't know. First of all, I don't know what his age was, and look what the hell happened.
If he represented you as he was 14 years old, you didn't care. If he was 14 years old, you didn't care. It didn't bother you that he was 14 years old.
Well, it depends if
and
you're
you're carrying
looking at-
on these kind of conversations with what you believe is a 14-year-old kid.
Absolutely.
Then you come up here tonight just to meet him.
Absolutely. And I do that with anybody that I meet online.
Bullshit.
I mean,
So you do this often?
no.
Very good question. So I didn't even know there's another detective. That's perfect. And that's what you want to say whenever they say this. I do this frequently. Like I meet people online very often, so this isn't crazy for me. And then the detective always should go, oh, so you've done this before. Then they're gonna go, no, well, I've never. So it immediately exposes. It's like they're trying to get credibility, and that immediately cuts it down.
First time you've ever done this?
Perfect. He'll say yes.
Done what?
Say
Met
meet a
somebody
child.
from online? Mm-hmm. No.
First time you ever met somebody online or
Minor.
came to meet somebody online that you knew posed as a 14-year-old
Absolutely.
boy?
There you go.
Absolutely.
The
Perfect.
first time?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
What made you do it this time?
But right there. He's admitting to doing it. So Kenneth. I mean, the detective couldn't bitch slap him literally, but he could be so salty with him that Kenneth just says, "I'm over it. I want a lawyer." And at this point, he'd probably be fucked just from what he's already given out. He's already said, "This is the first time I've met someone who I believe to be underage." So he's acknowledging.
Because he said his parents were in Las Vegas and that he was bored.
And although that isn't a direct admission of doing any sexual acts, I think that the chat log speaks to what his intentions clearly were.
You're carrying on these explicit conversations
Explicit.
with a 14-year-old, knowing that his parents are not.
And it's interesting that the detective uses the word explicit frequently because I say that explicit and implicit, but when for it being explicit, it could also mean clear. Like it means like graphic and like bad, basically. Like it needs to be censored. But it could also just mean clear, like an explicit answer, a clear answer, versus an implicit, which is like an implied.
Home and didn't expect to have any.
But Kenneth's chat is explicit in both senses, right? So I mean, it's like a disgusting, sexually charged chat, while simultaneously he's being very clear about what he wants to do.
any kind of sexual contact with him.
Absolutely. He even asked me to bring him beer, and I said no.
Oh, that's where he draws the line. That's fucking retarded. It would be, it's way worse to do what he was gonna do. I don't think that anyone would really, like, you shouldn't get beer for minors. But if it's like a friend move, it's bad, don't do it, but society's not gonna hate you, you know. If you know, you give some 14-year-olds or 15-year-olds beer, you shouldn't do it, but you're not gonna be in the same category as this guy.
I came with.
But I guess mainly that's only, I guess you can't do it for strangers. If it's like your uncle or like a family friend or something, or like your dad gives you beer, that's different. But yeah, I guess it's weird. This guy does.
No condoms, no intentions of.
You think you believe the story?
Where do you live at again? In Kettering, right?
Yes.
We haven't been doing this, we're not.
Where's the computer at that located at to use to communicate with
Oh, they're both bald. Damn, these detectives are
It's in my
bold bald.
apartment.
And you're not being straight up with us.
I am.
No, you're not.
Damn, I could hear the detectives the next room. You're not being straight up with us. No, you're not.
Do we look stupid?
Do we look stupid? Damn.
You know? Chatting with you, you tell the girl you're 27. She tells you.
So tell me again what you came up here to do with him tonight.
I came here strictly to meet and chat with Rocky.
Did you graduate high school?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I even, when I couldn't find the
How long
house,
have you been in the United States?
I even left.
For 5+ years?
And I
How many
was
times did you drive around that house?
And that doesn't matter. That just means that you gave up in frustration. That doesn't mean that your intention changed.
Tonight.
I think 4 times before I left. Because I went down and come around the first time, which I didn't know where I was at that point.
I think you're a hot.
And then I think I went 3 other times before I
A
left.
40 type.
You're telling me that you came up here just to meet him after all this conversation with him about sexually explicit things, about oral sex,
Oh, sex.
coming in his mouth,
Going in his mouth.
coming in somebody's mouth.
I didn't talk to anybody.
And I mean, the detective is annoyed, and I'm glad, you know, I'm annoyed, and I'm glad the detective is coming at him with this angle. You know, sometimes it's like, you'll coddle a suspect in order to get the confession out of them, but fuck them. They don't even deserve the coddling. So it's good that this detective can get a confession out of this guy, while being a dick to him. It's like you're getting the best of both worlds, because this detective is like, dude, do I look like a fucking retard?
Have some romance if you don't mind.
And
Why
then
did you come?
Kenneth says like ridiculous rebuttals like that. Well, I didn't say specifically that I'd come in his mouth. I said that he'd come in mine. So it's like that distinction has no fucking effect on the morality of this action.
To see him?
I came here to meet
What kind?
and to chat.
It's still
with him.
highly immoral.
That was it.
However the situation
Why didn't you just chat with him online?
I was.
Why did you come up here to chat with
Because
him?
he asked me to.
She said, yeah, we can have sex.
No, it says have sex.
Is that what you said?
Because he asked him to.
Now, to
In fact, there was even a conversation where he said something about coming up or something. I says, well, I don't even remember you asking me to come, Rocky. And he says, oh yeah, I did. And I says, well, I don't remember that.
It's so gross when these guys say come. It's always the fucking these ones too, like Gay Romano too. He says come. Anytime they say come over, they always do the cum. They do the fucking like jizz come. So anytime it's like these guys say come, they just like they know what it means, so they use it. You know, kind of just to be playful. So it's fucking annoying hearing this guy say that word though.
and you bring condoms, and you have talk like this in condoms, what do you think a jury's gonna think? You think a jury's gonna believe your story?
I mean, if there was any talk about
You think a jury's gonna believe your story?
something sexual tonight between him and I, it came from him, and I says, hey, I'm coming to meet and chat.
Any friends in Kentucky?
I have no idea.
You
And I asked him several times if he was a cop, and he said no.
Why was you worried if he was?
Asking if he's a cop, that yeah, they have no obligation to reveal
Oh,
whether
Well,
they're
because
cops or
of
not.
the age. I mean,
No, it's because of it's illegal. It's not because of the
in the
age.
situation I'm in right now, I mean, I did
In
nothing with the
handcuffs.
kid.
Here's the way it works. I can't tell.
I think he had plans on coming up here and doing something with the kid.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm
Do
sure
you understand
did.
why I feel that way?
Oh yeah, I'm sure you do. But I'm telling you that I didn't. I don't have the intentions of doing that with anybody that I meet online. I don't care if they're 40.
So Kenneth was extremely paranoid, and he was paranoid that he was going to be entrapped. So he was paranoid that the decoy was setting him up. So this story about him not doing anything, I think that he had already rehearsed. He certainly must have prepared psychologically for the possibility that this was a setup, and he must have thought that I guess that this fucking dumbass defense would have saved him. But yeah, certainly it's not going to.
However, the situation, have you ever had?
Hell, the only reason I came back was because he asked me to come back.
Would be at me.
After you drove around several times.
Kinda.
8:51 tonight.
We could.
Okay.
if you want to.
8:52 last night. I'm sorry.
He says, okay, what is?
So are you horny?
The detective was like, so that's good. So the bald, I originally stated this, that the bald detective had to, well, I guess they're both bald, but the old guy. The old detective had to interrogate Kenneth while simultaneously reading the chat log, but there's another detective there who's presumably going through the chat log while the old detective is directly talking to Kenneth. So the younger detective was like, hey, he said, are you horny? So the younger detective is going through. That's awesome. He's fact checking right now.
You asking this.
LOL means?
Yep. Jungle Mania. Laugh out loud.
Okay, yeah.
Jungle Mania. Good
And
man.
you asked, does that mean yes?
All at the same time?
No,
All at the
it's
same time.
two different lines.
It doesn't matter.
My point is, you're
Yeah.
talking about sex online to this person that's 14.
I'm not denying
I
that.
know you're not. And why you're denying that you came up here and your intentions weren't to have some kind of sex with
And I think that's why the detective was annoyed when he said that. Let's hear him say that again.
sex online to this person that's 14.
I'm not denying
I
that.
know you're not.
I know you're not.
And
Fuck,
talking
listen to
about sex online to this person that's 14.
I'm not denying
I
that.
know you're not. And why
He's
you're
annoyed.
denying that you came up here and your intentions weren't to have some kind of sex with the 14-year-old, I don't believe.
Well,
I mean, and the detective is annoyed because he's not denying that he wrote what he wrote in the chat, but he's still denying that he wasn't gonna do it. So he's saying, "Yeah, I wrote that, but I guess Kenneth's argument is that he didn't mean what he wrote, but he's acknowledging that he wrote it." And it's
and you
pissing the
have that right
detective
to do
off. It's
that.
pissing me
I mean,
off
you
too.
don't know me any more than I know you. I just know.
Oh, so is that like a defensive character? So now he's like, "Oh, you don't know that I have." I think he goes somewhere with this.
How I am.
This guy's like, "Don't fucking."
I know how
He's annoyed.
I personally am. And if I was coming up here to have sex with him, I'd have had condoms or something with me. And I
Not
don't
necessarily.
have-
Not necessarily. Especially, come on, dude. There's no pregnancy. What are you gonna say? Oh yeah, I would never have unprotected sex. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. This guy would probably definitely have unprotected sex.
Anything in your car?
No.
None in your billfold?
Not having condoms, especially in this situation, does not mean that you weren't gonna fuck or that you weren't trying to fuck.
No.
None anywhere. And you'll give us a consent to search your vehicle?
He will. Yep, of course.
Because that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
Good. This cop's playing it perfectly. He's being authoritative with them. He's telling them, we're doing this. This is good.
Do you have any explicit images of any children in your car or at work or at home?
See if he wavers.
No.
Ask him again. Come on.
Is that your cell phone there? Is that the only phone you have?
Yeah.
What is that number?
There's on my computer. There's probably a few pictures of the people have sent me, but I mean,
Is he?
I don't know. I can't tell you that they're what the ages are.
Oh, interesting. Now we have a flipped perspective. Okay, so now Kenneth is opening the door See, this is exactly what I was talking. So this is why you don't talk without a fucking lawyer. So in Kenneth's mind, they're going to find out anyway. So he says, yeah, I have pictures, but I don't know the age. So Kenneth is saying, I don't know. He goes, hey, do you have child porn on your computer? Kenneth goes, I don't know. In effect, that is the wrong fucking answer in this situation. The only correct answer is no, and I don't know is yes. There's yes and there's yes, and I don't know means yes in this instance.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have to judge that.
Do you care what the ages are?
Well, of course I care. I mean, we have never
And I hope that's enough for them to get a warrant for his computer.
exchanged explicit.
And it might not have been had he not said anything. That's my point. If he wouldn't have said, well, you know, we'll never know what he would have happened if he would have immediately asked for a lawyer. But you know, he did not do. Kenneth didn't have. He didn't need to elect to give them all these searches.
Pictures.
But he did.
I mean, this Rocky and I never ever exchanged any type of nude pictures or nothing.
We'll read you some more chat. Okay.
This is good. This guy's fucking
Oh
old.
boy. So
I mean, he's in. I'm glad that we get to finally see his face. This guy's probably in his mid 50s, late 50s, or early 60s maybe. This is shit quality. But he's just weary. This guy's fucking weary. You know, he's been a cop for a while. He's probably he's seen it all. He's fucking heard it all, and he's sick of these fuckers denying it. You know, every day he must hear scumbags deny what they do, and it's after years and years of doing it, it must really fucking wear on you.
what you doing, Jungle Mania? Just cleaning the living room, and what are you doing?
And that guy must have like the best bullshit detector, you know, just personally on fucking planet Earth. This guy looks like he's legit. I like this detective.
Oh boy. Nothing at all, really. Jungle Mania, cool. Oh boy, yeah, about as cool as cleaning. Jungle Mania. So do you have a nice
That's random.
Yeah, but what were we talking about prior to that?
cleaning?
No, I mean,
It doesn't matter what you're talking about prior to it. You're asking him something sexually explicit. Correct?
right.
That's the perfect right there. You know, you have one of the best fucking responses that you could give to Kenneth. What were we talking about before that? It's perfect.
Okay.
It's great. Like your parents are going.
But he was in that chat.
Yeah.
Does that make it okay if you know it's a 14-year-old kid
Nope.
and you're asking him how big his is or how nice his is?
I did not realize that it was.
Do I need to go back to this first page on this chat when you ask how old he is?
No.
So I think what Kenneth was going to say was, I didn't know. Kenneth was probably going to say, I didn't know that was illegal. I don't think Kenneth was going to say, I didn't know he was 14. Well, let's go back and see.
Back
I did not.
how big his is or how nice his is?
I did not realize that it was.
I think he was going to say, I didn't realize that it was illegal to say that. I don't think he was going to say, I didn't realize that, you know, it was a minor, or I didn't realize that it was a 14-year-old. I think he was going to say, I didn't think that just chatting about it was illegal.
Do I need to go back to this first page on this chat when you ask how old he is?
No, he's in the chat room, you know, and
So that makes it okay.
talk is
good.
talk. I mean, hell, they do it in high school.
Yeah, see, so talk is talk. So exactly. So I guess in Kenneth's mind, you know, he's a distinguished legal scholar. In Kenneth's mind, you know, it's just talk.
You know,
Does
I'm
that
not.
make it okay?
No, it's
You're
not.
how old, Ken?
You're right. It's not.
Okay.
It's
Good.
not.
Where's this cameraman
When
going?
I was his age, I wouldn't even be talking
What the
about it.
hell?
Exactly.
Does it have street after it, or is it just that's it?
This dude needs
Do you
to
have any
fucking
children?
chill.
No.
How, if you did have a child, how would you feel if they got online and was talking to somebody like this
Not good.
as a parent?
Well, as a parent, my kids wouldn't be online.
On UK campus,
That's not an answer. You know why they wouldn't be online? Because of people like him.
I work in the library.
It's
But I
fucking
mean, I've
dark.
got nieces and nephews that are, you know, teenagers, and you know, I'm constantly telling their moms, "Hey,
Why do you tell them that?
Because
Well,
of
because
people
I'm
like
in the
him?
chat rooms. I know what goes on in those chat rooms.
Because he's in the chat room, exactly.
But it doesn't matter that you're chatting with somebody that's 14 years old.
Well, I think the intentions were different. I mean, I know what my intentions are.
So do I.
Well,
Okay? It's pretty obvious, man.
no, it's not.
Yes,
Not to
it
me. I know what I am.
And what is that?
I'm a man with a good heart. The kid was lonely,
Ugh, I
bored,
hate that.
and that's all it was.
I hate that. What this guy is such a fucking prick. He's being so self-righteous there. So he's almost saying, that he's been ensnared in this sting because he has a good heart and that the kid was lonely. Nothing in Kenneth's chat suggests that that is the case. He explicitly mentioned sex. Anyone can glance at the chat. So for him to even argue this, I hope the detective linguistically bitch slaps him again.
So
that's why you asked him how big his penis was.
Exactly.
That had nothing
Yeah.
to do with.
That's all part of this chat.
Well, we've been chatting for how long?
It doesn't matter.
Exactly. Doesn't matter. The act, it's the act. It's not about your what is going on in your mind. It's about the action. That's what the law is based off of. Actions. Sometimes the law is based off of intent, but that is far more difficult to prove. But what is easy to prove are actions. And in this case, even talking about doing it is enough to fucking convict you.